I just think Quan isn't a good character. Why? Why? And I could give two shits about Madrigal. Come on, guys. What are we doing? Master Chief's ass. I didn't expect that. What the fuck is this? I'm really confused on what they're gonna do. All right, everybody. Why'd I start like that? Welcome back to another episode of Halo PODST, where we break down the Halo Paramount Plus show. As always, I'm Jake, joined by Sparks.
Oh, yeah. And a wonderful, wonderful Quan-free week it is. Honestly,
spoilers ahead for my rating, but this might be the highest rated episode of the season.
not to delve into it too much. I mean, highest rated episode, no Quan. Coincidence?
I mean, we stayed away from the rubble the whole time, and I was like, well,
I know we almost kept full momentum going through this thing. Almost.
Yeah, I'm interested to hear your thoughts on it, but we'll get to the spoilers there. Overall, I think this, you and I talked about it beforehand. This was hyped up before the show came out.
Oh, they hyped it up so much.
This was going to be the big episode that was going to win everybody over. Overall, I think it succeeded. I think it was a pretty fun, entertaining episode.
I think it was a solid episode. I mean, I was thinking about this the entire time I was watching it. So did you ever watch like those first 3 to 4 seasons of The Walking Dead?
Yeah, I watched till season 6.
Do you remember how actually not great that first season was?
Yeah.
I think this is in a similar boat where it's got a shaky kind of first season, and then 2 builds on that, and then they kind of make the improvements in 3. A lot has to do with showrunner changes because he had Frank Darabont leaving after season 1, I think it was.
And honestly, I think he only directed the first episode. Yeah, he was a showrunner for most of it, but yeah, season 2 is when they changed showrunners.
Yeah, and I think there's some okay episodes in season 1 of The Walking Dead, and just there are some okay episodes, but overall, season 1 of The Walking Dead is not great. But it was a solid proof of concept, and they kind of built on that shaky foundation, got a really good run going in seasons 4, 5, and 6, and then I stopped.
Fell apart.
But we're not here to talk about The Walking Dead.
I think I do think it is a pretty apt comparison because we talked about it before this season even started that there was going to be a new creative team and they were going to, I think, tell the story in their own way and lean more into what we saw in the games because they're still playing with the idea that this is a different timeline, so we can tell things differently and. Especially because in the games, Master Chief is not around for the Fall of Reach. That's Noble 6, and we got no mention of them in this. But
oh god, I'm sorry. That's an excuse and such a cop out. I've been hearing it a lot lately with the Borderlands trailer. People talking about adaptations and different timelines. And I'm just knock it off. All right, it's a cop out, and you know it.
Well, and. We, especially with the show, we there's a fine line with adaptation and then just being you just wanted to slap a property on this so this would sell better. And I think that is that was very present in season 1, and I think season 2 they're leaning more into the lore and a pretty entertaining episode. So let's get into it. I'm sure you have some thoughts.
Oh, I have so many thoughts. You could almost say infinitely more thoughts than you, possibly.
I've given up taking notes, all right? You watch it twice, you take all these notes, and then I remember that.
Yeah. So, season 2, episode 4, Reach. I mean, I don't think it's any mystery why this one's called Reach. This is the big one. They've been hyping the hell out of it, talking about their one-shot method, which, okay, sure. But so we open actually from a pretty quiet moment here with Vanek going to the top of a tower to visit with some pigeons that he's lovingly named. And actually, I think that's kind of a neat little dovetail, if you will. Right? Clever. Almost as clever as theirs.
Wasn't it Lenny, Benny?
I don't know. They had names.
It was like Jenny, Benny, Lenny, and Keith.
Yeah, or Frank or something. I don't know. They were pigeons.
Again, a little joke, but I think that's another thing that we talked about, especially last episode. The show is not taking itself as seriously as that first season. It's having a little bit of fun.
I mean, it's a nice, quaint moment for a character who was like completely robotic in season 1. So yeah, it is what it is. But so the really nice part is where for the first 3 episodes, we've been doing this really shitty juggling act with like 4 different plots each, and they're all kind of like slowly moving towards each other. Well, we cut the bullshit of the rubble because we're finally gone from that noise. And now we have an A plot and a B plot. In your A plot, you have Master Chief and Corporal Perez, who I honestly, I'm starting to get the feeling she's going to be more of a more present character throughout the series, because I feel like they're really giving her something to work with. But maybe I'm reading into it too much. But we open up and there's explosions and they're running through the streets, and then they get close to her family's little apartment complex, and she wants to go in and try to evacuate them. And it's like, Chief's like, okay, yeah, go do that. I'm going to go to FleetCom. And he gets like 5 steps away and just boom, building's gone.
And so this is where they're like, I like how they did this. So you and I when we were talking about it, I was under the impression, I think you were too, that the whole episode was going to look like a one continuous shot.
Yeah. Well, and that's what they were going for, because at a certain point in like cinematography, claiming that you did something as a one continuous shot is some impressive feat. And it's neat. What we end up with here is a oneer, but it's got a lot of shaky camera shots.
Yeah.
Which is honestly, it's almost more like watching what was that alien movie in New York?
Cloverfield.
Yeah, it's like Cloverfield all over again. Except maybe not as handheld.
Interesting. So I think you and I might differ on this.
Okay.
Did you like it?
It had its moments. Other times it felt very jarring. And I understand that's the vibe they're going for.
Yeah, see, that's why I liked it.
Because it's the chaos of the battlefield and the evasion.
Very similar to the first episode. And again, how I think season 2 is already better for me is I understand there's a certain style they're going for and like a tone that they want to set. And I mentioned it in that first episode. We see it here again, where it's like, I like that it's disorienting. I like that it's dizzy and confusing and you don't know what's happening. However, I can understand how somebody would be like, it was too much for me. I didn't like it. Because there were some shots I'm like, a little hard to understand what's happening.
Yeah, it's hard to understand, and ultimately you get lost in everything. And again, I'm sure that's their intention, but it makes for a very frustrating viewing experience.
Yeah,
because you're trying to keep
on one
point on
hand
something.
You can convey that and show that, but there's also that other element of like you do have a responsibility to drive that story forward and give someone something to focus on, you know.
Well, and even as they're doing it, they keep switching points of view. Like you'll follow Chief for a while, and then once he catches up to Riz, spoiler territory here, the camera starts following her a little bit more. So it's like, it's not sure what it wants to do. It's very directionless.
And I kind of like that they split this up and split that style up with just the fight for Reach, while all the other stuff was like with Halsey and Bokeem Woodbine as Soren.
That's your one.
There you go. How that was like traditionally shot, but the chaos of the combat was the one shot.
Yeah, and they did it really well. They kept breaking it up nicely. So yeah, her Perez's family they're assumed to be just fucking gone, obliterated in an instant, and probably for the best, because otherwise they would have felt pain throughout all that. Instead, they're just gone. So, hey, silver lining, I suppose. Take that how you want. But, so he manages to convince her, hey, you're going to come with me to FleetCom. We're going to, try to reconvene with everybody, get to our suits so that we can go out and fight. And they end up in like this underground marketplace that hadn't been destroyed yet, which I found very interesting. Like, everything's going on outside, and here you have these people just going around. Like, they don't know what's going on, but it's not that big of a deal to them. Like, it somehow hadn't gotten to them yet. And then, like, after a couple seconds, we get a nice sweeping shot to the other end of the corridor, and wouldn't you know it, there's a bunch of cloaked elites just coming in.
I also want to say that I think it was interesting that, while this is happening, you still see how much of like why people rally behind him because he is such a focused soldier, and he'll touch on it later, but like the fact that and she has a moment like, yeah, this is my family. They weren't soldiers. She has to have that emotional moment, and he's like, he gives her a beat, but then he's like, all right, we got to move. Like he's old because he's the chief. He knows like they're gonna keep coming, and I need to get to my suit. I need to get the best chance I have. We got to keep moving. Where she is kind of, you could tell
Well,
she's not really she's in the communications.
yeah, well, and he understands that there's a time and a place to mourn the dead, and this ain't it. This is all wrong. We
We're
got to keep
literally
moving.
being invaded.
Yeah, like later, just keep moving. So we get those cloaked elites coming in, and then you know what? God damn it, Chief doesn't have his suit, but fucking hell, if he's not gonna hand to hand fight an elite,
This was so fucking cool, man. Like I love it.
it was like 90% cool. I'll admit. Once the elite was decloaked, there was some really shaky CGI.
Yeah. There was some interest. Yeah, there's some bad shots, but overall, pretty awesome. I dug it.
Great fight.
The fact that he killed, like, that's the thing. They're doing well in this season, and I gotta give them props. They went with an idea of like, let's just do it and see him be a soldier without the armor. Let's see him just be a badass without it, and
which is a really weird parallel to considering everybody else's complaint of him taking off the helmet. All right, well, what if we take away all the armor?
And I'm sure people be mad about it. Sure, whatever, I get it. But the whole time I'm watching this episode, at no point did I say this would look better in the suit.
Sure.
Or this, like the whole time, like, this is fine the way it is. Now, I wouldn't be opposed to him wearing the suit, but the fact that he did this barehanded without his suit was fucking cool. And like
it made the feat all that much more impressive, and also it let you see him emote more.
And it's also saying that like the armor is a tacked on thing. Like, these dudes are still deadly and superhuman outside of the suit, so they could still fight outside of the suit, and I like that a lot too. And I love that whole scene because he was able to sniff that guy out. Like, the fact that he out of nowhere knew that was an elite because he's seen them, they're cloaking so much, he knows where to look and how to look for it, and he just fucking takes them out. Like, again, awesome scene. I like that a lot. And it's like, why did it take us this long to get here? That's what I kept thinking that whole episode.
Yeah, that's a long, complicated answer. So they end up leaving the marketplace, and they end up in this like home/storefront from this collector, this vendor woman who's got like antiques from Earth. And ultimately the woman doesn't want to leave her stuff, and she just kind of accepts her fate. But a little blink and you miss it kind of moment. Jake, did you happen to notice a fun little Easter egg on one of the shelves?
No, maybe. If you tell me, I'll probably notice it in my head.
There was an Xbox, an OG.
Oh, I didn't see that. That's awesome.
Yep, just sitting right there. I saw the X shape. Like, oh, you sons of bitches.
Oh yeah, I did. Okay, yeah. I thought that was an X, but I couldn't make it out. So
yeah, that was an Xbox. So yeah, I see you.
And I did like this scene because, again, it shows Chief being like, she doesn't want to leave. She knows, like, I don't know how, because that leads into the next scene where they go to like a hardware store, right? And she has that moment of like, how are you just like all this shit's happening and all this death, you're constantly around it. How do you keep going? And he has that whole thing of like, he just doesn't think he can lose. He just goes, I might lose to people, but I'm not gonna get.
Well,
Nobody's gonna kill me.
turns out he was once visited by a woman and got 15 coin flips in a row, but he knew the answers. It wasn't luck.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, that's a little more mythologizing than I'm comfortable with, but okay.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I can understand that. It does feel like they got to build up his legend and all that, but uh, I liked that scene, and maybe it's just because I like Pablo Schreiber, but I don't know, man. I think this is a good scene, and it works fine without him in the suit.
Mm-hmm. Well, him in the suit, it wouldn't attract nearly as well.
Yeah, because
It loses its humanity.
because he's looking at her this whole time after her family dies, and she's just trying to talk to him about it, and you believe it, and I kind of like the cockiness. I kind of like the arrogance of being like, I might lose some people, but they ain't gonna kill me. Like I'm not.
Well, and I'm sure he's a little jacked up on adrenaline right now too.
Yeah.
So they end up leaving that woman's shop, and then they end up catching up to Riz, Lewis, and Danilo. I actually had to go back a couple times to figure out his name, but he's Lewis's SO, the masseuse or therapist, and they're hunkered down fighting off Covenant with a bunch of Marines.
This is fucking sad.
Well, it not yet. But
Oh
it'll
yeah, we'll get there. Yeah.
So they, being Riz, Lewis, Danilo, and like 5 Marines, they decide, hey, everyone, we're going to move on to Fleet Comm. So they end up doing like this really great tracking shot through a building.
Me.
And there's a liberal use of grenades here, which I found very interesting considering you're in a building.
Yeah.
Which I feel like would have demolished it even more, but suspension of disbelief. So we'll move on from that. But again, more elites, a lot more fighting. Danilo is ended up like just getting killed off screen, but Riz sees him.
Oh, yeah, and sorry, I wanted to mention this, but you were on a roll. When we first see Danilo, one of the funnier, awesome lines of that was like, "You keep shooting, I'll." What did he say? You keep shooting, I'll find you.
Fucking yeah, Lewis. He's out there
This
blind fighting
dude
with a
just
launcher.
shooting dudes, and he's just like, "Yeah, keep shooting, I'll find you." And I was like, "That's a great point," because he would still be able to hear it, but I don't know.
Well, hypersensitive Spartan hearing.
You know, I feel like that would be worse because there's so much noise, and
I'm sure it's not like louder, but it's more fine tuned.
But anyway, yeah, Riz finds Danilo. He's got like looks like he must get hit in the chest with a shotgun or something.
Plasma, I think probably.
Which I was just like, aw.
So she tosses a grenade to kill more elites, and then jumps out of the window, nearly pulls off a superhero landing, but ends up rolling it, which honestly is probably more realistic.
Yeah.
Because the superhero landing is really hard on the knees.
Again, the one take method, it works really well, and I personally like the fact that it changed perspective and kept that shot, but it changed to Riz, and then we'd come back to Chief. I kind of dug that a lot, especially for this. But the that superhero landing did not look good. Like that.
No, it looks like it hurt.
Well, I mean, the shot itself didn't look that great, but yeah.
Well,
whatever.
It's a hard shot.
And you know what? I'd rather they do that than put someone in danger of an actual explosion or something,
Sure. So she jumps out the window, lands on the ground, and then catches up to Lewis, and Lewis starts asking about Danilo, and she basically has to tell him he ain't coming, and it's pretty obvious what that means.
Yeah, because he keeps saying, "Where's Danilo? Danilo." I'm like, buddy.
Yeah, hey. So Lewis, at this point, he's out of Spartan. His significant other is gone. He's got nothing basically left, so he's gonna do
his home's getting destroyed. Yeah, why not?
Yeah, he's gonna do what any person who's probably out of their minds with grief gonna do. He ends up sacrificing himself when a fucking wraith shows up.
Yeah,
and basically just like grabs a grenade belt and fucking just walks into it. So so that leaves us down from 5 Marines and 4 named characters to Riz, Chief, and Perez, just like that.
Also, I think it's funny that, again, they do this whole thing without their armor. Oh, did you catch the other Easter egg when Chief meets up with Riz?
The
Yeah, I need a weapon.
Sure, yeah.
because that's what Chief says, and I need a weapon.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think there was any other references in that. But,
I'm sure there were. I'm just not nearly skilled enough.
Also, I love the fact that we're seeing some BRs. I think we also got a DMR in this at one point.
Well, we
Big
got
fan.
an AR in season 1, episode 1. We definitely got our BRs here. We've had more than enough plasma weapons.
Couple magnums showed up.
Swords everywhere.
Oh, I cannot wait to talk about the end of this episode.
So we've got 3 survivors, and they make it to FleetCom. They reunite with Vanek, and mysteriously, Kai is MIA. Yeah.
So this is what I was gonna ask. Because I was like, I don't remember. I know she had that conversation with Ackerman. I'm assuming they're implying she left with him. Where is she?
Actually, that's where exactly I'm thinking. I'm thinking after the end of last episode where basically her trust with Chief was just like shattered. And he's like, I don't need a friend. I need a Spartan. Like that was the breaking point. And I think at that point, Ackerman had a lot more faith in her than he did with Chief. So it's like, hey, we need a Spartan, someone we can kind of build our next generation off of. So it's you. And she goes with him.
Because okay, so that's what I am thinking too. And the only reason I'm thinking that is not just because. Okay, the other reason I'm thinking that, not just because she's not in this episode, but because that would be the thing. Is like what you were saying is he is gonna make her the next chief.
Mm-hmm.
Which is why he wouldn't mind letting him die there. Because in my mind, again, it doesn't make any sense why you would leave your biggest military asset on the planet you know that's being invaded unless you think, oh, I'm going to make this other person the leader of the Spartans.
Well, the even bigger tell there is, so it turns out Ackerman took the fucking suits.
Yeah, and I was like, okay, because I was expecting them to put on the suits.
And get to whipping ass.
Yeah, because my thought was like, oh, we're going to be, like, most of the episode is them getting there, and then once they get there, they're going to fucking clean house. But that's not what happened, and I'm okay with it. I was bummed. I was like, damn it, because I'm a sucker for the suits. Show me the toys. I want to see the toys.
And I think that was an interesting choice, because we went from an episode of building anticipation to the suits, and then once we realized that those are off the table, the stakes actually go up even more significantly.
And honestly, I think it's better because we get a lot more, emotional stakes at the end of the episode.
So Chief goes to talk to Keys, and that just this fun little line. Part of me was hoping you were dead, so I didn't have to listen to this. I told you so.
That was good. I like that.
I was like, that actually feels like something somebody says. Yeah, fucking hell, I got to deal with this now.
Yeah, and then Chief, didn't he say sorry to disappoint or some shit like that?
Yeah, something like that. Sorry to disappoint, sir. Or never, I don't know, something to that effect.
Something along those lines, yeah.
Yeah, so then Keys basically tells him, hey, Ackerman knew everything. Cobalt, they, died outside of Visegrad, never even knew what hit them. Two weapons had full mags, which means those Cobalt team got fucking pwned.
Mm-hmm.
And at this point, Keys, he's still around, so he is hell-bent on evacuating citizens and just fucking sticking it to the Covenant. Like, you might take Reach, but I'm going to make you fucking pay for this.
Great speech when he starts rallying everybody at FleetCom.
Yeah, no, he does this really great. He does this team meeting where he basically tells the Marines, hey, guys, you're basically doomed. I can understand, if you wanted to leave, but everybody, you got nothing to prove here. You are heroes in my book. It's kind of like that kind of thing you'd see in like Independence Day, where the president's given that big "we're gonna fucking fight the aliens" speech.
And man, I was like, all right, and because I like I don't know the actor's name, but I do like the dude that's played Jacob Keyes,
mm-hmm.
and so like when he's like they fucked with the wrong planet, I'm like, all right, I would fucking go to war for this guy. I'd run through a wall for this.
Yeah, everybody's amped. They know they're gonna die, but they're fucking ready to go.
And I'm a sucker for those gung ho things like that. Like, yeah, let's go, let's fucking die.
Yep. And then Keys actually wants to fight alongside the troops on the bridge, but the Spartans managed to convince him that, nah, sir, you're getting the fuck out of here. Like,
yeah, he also had a good line where he said, "What credentials don't mean shit right now" or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. honestly, I mean, I thought it was a good on their part because, obviously this is somebody they can trust and they don't want to just go lose him senselessly. So
Right,
it
and
makes
he's
sense.
someone higher up in UNSC, and yeah.
Yeah. So the Spartans and a class of Marines, they go to set up repel an invasion on the bridge, while Keyes works on evacuating all of the civilians and wounded. And he tries to get on one of the ships, but turns out some jackals manage to get along the side, and they start climbing up the fucking building right up to the dock, and they're trying to attack. And this actually is where our A and B points converge.
We finally get Soren
Yeah.
and
So
Halsey meeting.
so
They
actually,
break out of VR prison.
yeah. So I guess before we go any further than that, let's switch gears and go over to the B plot, which is Soren and Halsey. Now Halsey, of course, she's in her little virtual prison cell, and then Ackerman brought Soren in, and they're just kind of like,
Which, again, what a petty little bitch
oh
that
yeah,
Ackerman is. Because he's going to evacuate a planet he knows is doomed to die and let these two have their little reunion and they just die together. Like, what
yeah.
a bitch.
So yeah, it's kind of an awkward moment there for the two of them. I mean, Soren, he talks about how like he's played this moment in his head thousands of times, what he would say to her, what he would do to her. Ultimately, it means nothing, really.
I thought you'd be taller. I thought you were tall. I remember you being taller. Or
Yeah.
something like that.
And then actually a little cutback. So when Perez's family were blown up in that whole building, we actually saw the power go out in the town. At the same time that happens, the power in Fleetcom goes down, which takes down Halsey's prison, which I thought was a little funny little moment. Is after the graphic overlay, the illusion was gone. She like reached for the wall. I was like, did you not realize you were in a cell?
Yeah.
Like, you're a brilliant
or
person.
When he goes to the door and she's like, the security is still on, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, don't walk through that. And he just like walks through the door.
Yep.
And he's like, are you coming?
Yep.
Like,
Yep. They escape. Soren tries to go left. Halsey goes right. And she's like, hey, man, you're going to have to trust me. I know a way around here. He's like, I ain't going to fucking do that again. You know what? Spoiler. He does. He ends up following her. And while they're walking along, Halsey starts asking questions about Kessler, his son.
So she's showing again that she does remember the Spartans, and she's not as callous as we think she is.
Like I feel like they're actually doing like this really nice, I wouldn't call it necessarily subtle, but these little things to try to walk back the full fucking sociopath that she became in season one.
Hold on. Here's my theory on that. I think that was just the clones. Like, the more she kept flash cloning, like, the more deteriorated their morality started to be. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like that is some angle they could play while trying to redeem her character.
I don't think it's really any of that. Like, you're talking about the Julia flash clones? Because, I mean,
the main Halsey we spent time with last season.
No, I think that was Halsey. The clone that we saw die in Fleetcom possession was okay. So when they got onto the ship, her and her little fucking weird assistant, they brought a giant box casket shaped thing on board. And I think that was her contingency plan, was a clone. That in the event like this goes sideways, she could spring it and make a run for it. I think that was her plan all along. Like, I think legitimately we're just seeing her not be nearly as sociopathic because I think they just overdid it in season one. So the writers for season two, they're trying to walk it back. I mean, she's actually like trying to talk to, she's trying to level with Soren, try to empathize with him a little bit, talking about how, she remembered him. And then she let slip this idea about, maybe she shouldn't have let him go, or she was sad when she let him go. Which was interesting because it was like a quick little moment, and then
he said I escaped.
Yeah, and then we end up cutting to a different moment entirely because it gets interrupted. So then they get to that room where Cortana was, but hey, everybody's favorite weird Covenant bitch McKee shows up, and I assume she takes Cortana.
Yes.
Yeah. And with that said, I assume since they're already there, they either already grabbed the artifact or Ackerman took it. One or the other.
I'm pretty sure in the last episode he took it.
Okay, yeah. So she takes Cortana for some reason.
Wait, no. Makee has the artifact.
No, she has half of it.
Right.
Yeah, she has the half that was at Visegrad, and then the other half was in FleetCom.
Ackerman took it with him.
Yeah, so then she took Cortana's box for, again, some reason. I don't know what.
Yeah, that's another thing people are trying to theorize why the Covenant want Cortana.
I don't know, because I guess it's important to Chief. That's the only thing I can think. So the elites...
Part of the great journey.
Yeah. The elites try to enter the room, but Soren throws this grenade that he picked up a little while ago, and then Soren and Halsey are blasted backwards out into a wall. And that's where they kind of cut back to the A-plot, but we're not doing that just yet, because eventually they get up. Halsey's got ringing ears because, grenades will do that to you. And then he basically, he grabs her arm, and he's like, okay, what the hell did you mean, let me go? I escaped. I got away from you.
Yeah.
And basically she told him, well, here's the thing. You were strong-headed. You always knew what you wanted to be. You're a natural-born warrior. And all of the other children, all of the other Spartans, they looked up to you, including John, Master Chief. He deferred to Soren. So after his accident, she wanted Chief to become more self-reliant and become the leader that she believed that he could be. So when Soren tried to make his escape, she kind of put the machinations in place to make his escape easier. Because honestly, it removes the competition. Without Soren there, Chief becomes the de facto leader and, proves everything that Halsey thought about him was right.
Yeah.
Again, and I think it's really interesting between this and Julia and everything. It shows that all of the things that she did with the Spartan program, it's not like she just did it and forgot about it. It's all etched on her soul.
Yeah.
Again, we're walking back that sociopathy.
You're actually seeing her be remorseful,
nostalgic, sentimental, even.
Yeah.
Again, she's not a complete monster. Everything she's done has been very calculated and pragmatic, but not evil. And again, I think that's that interesting parallel that we saw kind of playing out between Ackerman and Halsey. Their motivations might be similarly aligned, but their intentions are two very different things. Mm-hmm. And I think that's a very striking juxtaposition.
Yeah.
And that's why seeing him be petty really kind of cemented that. So after all of that, they catch up to Keyes. Keyes reveals everything that's going on. She asks about her own daughter, Miranda. She did care about her daughter. Again, not a fucking monster. And Miranda...
Where is Miranda?
Yeah, Miranda was evacuated with Ackerman and all the other important people. So she's not dead. She's just gone. But not in that way.
This actress has not shown up for half the season. But...
Yeah. So Soren almost gets onto the ship, but he hears the approaching jackals. And again, this is where A and B converge. So Keyes tries to fly the ship out, but it turns out that the fuel lines are still hooked up. So he pulls Perez in. He makes Perez take charge of flying the ship. He says,
you know how to fly this? Because everybody in Halo universe knows how to fly things.
Yeah. He basically says, I'll be back. Don't worry about that. And of course, that was a fucking lie. So basically, he's going to try to sacrifice himself. He goes to disconnect the fuel supply. He gets it done, but he's surrounded by jackals. And it turns out when he disconnected it, he didn't shut off the fuel supply. He just disconnected the hoses. So you know where this is going.
Yeah, because once the hose comes out, you see the fumes.
Yeah, so where this is going. He basically just fucking self-immolates. He implodes. He blows up everything, and the evac ship manages to get away. And of course, again, Halsey's not a complete monster. She is distraught at Jacob's death.
She actually is remorseful for her former lover being...
that was her husband for some period of time. They did
explode.
Care about each other.
Yeah, I had a feeling this was going to happen in some way when he had to go change the fuel lines. Or go
Well,
fix the
oh
fuel
yeah, no,
lines. But
it wasn't subtle at all. And like anybody who knows their Halo lore knows this, that Keyes is doomed to die.
yeah.
That's gonna happen. Miranda will die too eventually.
And I think it was a really good scene because, again, I think the guy that plays Jacob is really good. The only problem I had with it is he just I know what they were trying to do, but it just didn't work because it was a pipe.
Mm-hmm.
And he goes, "You want a light?" and then blows up. I think it would have been fine with like a cigar or a cigarette, but the pipe just looked weird to me in that
Mm-hmm.
shot. I don't know, but
Well, especially because Keyes was known for having a cigar, wasn't he?
I thought that was Sarge. Pretty sure.
I thought Sarge was Keyes. Okay. Again, I'm way out on the Halo lore. But anyway, so yeah,
Pretty sure they're different, but
yeah,
whatever. But
he fucking
the
lights
point
up
is,
and
a cigar would have looked better. It was whatever, but I still think it was a pretty cool scene.
yeah,
And it's sad. I knew it was coming, but I was like, ah, dang.
yep, there that goes. Well, and he'd basically like he was kind of like paralleling what Lewis had done there. Like everything is lost, so he's going to give everything he can to
If I
help
could
others.
save these people.
He was exactly where he was supposed to be.
So while that's happening,
Which actually was kind of a weird little recurring theme throughout the season, or this episode, was people talking about being exactly where they were supposed to be.
yeah.
Like I feel like I definitely picked up on that.
And the
times.
fact that the episode ending after that, we were so close
Oh,
to
that's
getting a sword fight.
well. Hold on, because we're not even done yet. So the bridge gets blown up, and then like almost immediately, everyone being Halsey and Soren, and now because of the ship getting stuck, they called back the Spartans. So now you've got all 3 Spartans and a bunch of Marines, and everybody's just fucking surrounded by Covenant jackals, elites. It's a fucking hallway fight here. And we get this nice moment where we get to see Spartans in full action, including Soren and Chief basically fighting shoulder to shoulder.
Yeah, that scene was awesome.
Um,
Like when they were actually like working together, like they were, you saw like how they worked together as a team.
Yep.
I was like, ooh, we're gonna get that. I was like, that is some blatant foreshadowing. You're gonna get Soren back in armor, and they're gonna be together.
But like you've been alluding to all episode, we almost get an epic energy sword fight between Chief and the head elite, who some people might end up believing it's Vargat and I, our possible future arbiter. It almost happens, but as he was getting ready to take the first swing, Chief gets fucking shot in the shoulder by another elite with a plasma pistol. And our head elite is pretty pissed about it.
And I was like, okay, I like that. Like, because that's why I think it's the Arbiter, because he specifically said, I will bring you the head of the demon. So I think maybe he might not know it's him. He might just think he's some other human.
Well,
but the way that he reacted made it seem like he was a worthy opponent.
And there was honor in this. Like, you just fucking killed every bit of honor this fight had. You asshole.
And so, yeah, he just fucking lops his head off, which is a cool shot. Like
not even like the full head, like it goes like through the center.
And just slides down. I like that. It was a cool shot. Again, it was cool to see Chief use a sword outside of armor.
Yeah. So then Chief is lying on the floor, wounded, almost killed. The elite goes in to try to like kill him, and McKee stops him for, I don't know, sentimental reasons, I guess.
You never forget Master Cheeks.
Sure. So then Vanek ends up picking up a needler, and he tries to shoot that elite, and the needles just like fucking bounce off of his armor.
And that's another thing that I was like, that's a cool detail, and I thought that was fun. And like, of all the weird shots of CG, I thought that looked really good. I think the elite looked good, and I think that they're just dum 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 sliding off.
Yeah, one of them sticks in, but he like fucking pulls it out and just jams it into into Vanek's fucking chest.
When he took it out and stabbed him with it, I didn't even think of that, because you can't do that in the game.
That's a ballsy move. And I guess there was just enough time there, and Vanek
exploded.
Yeah, Vanek's pretty fucking wounded, and it explodes, and he's gone. He's fucking dead.
Chief screams and distraught.
Yep. And the Covenant leave, and everyone's like just trying to fucking recover here, I guess. But we get this like one final shot of Vanek looking up at a clear sky through a hole in the ceiling, and there's birds flying above. And like I said, I think that's a really nice dovetail from the beginning of the episode with him talking to the pigeons to the last thing he saw, because he, as he talked in the first couple episodes, he had recently been watching nature documentaries about birds. Like it's sad to me that like that was the extent of Vanek's narrative run as a person, and we get all of this with Riz and a little bit from Kai, but like Vanek is stoic, likes birds, dead.
Yeah, and it kind of I applaud them for taking out two regular characters like that. Not one, two in the same episode. I think, because to me that again signals like, hey, this is the big turning point, and these next 4 episodes are going to be fucking crazy.
Well, and there's no earthly way that you could get out of this big of a catastrophe and something with this high of stakes with all of your main cast in line. It's unthinkable. You shouldn't be doing that.
Because it kills any stakes. It kills any momentum of.
If they have plot armor in addition to their regular armor, it doesn't work.
The only character that would not die and will not die is Chief. He's the only one. I think.
Except for that time that he died.
Yeah, and we're just gonna hand wave that away in the next season. Start of the next season. But yeah, he's the only one. Because I honestly would not be surprised by the end of season 2, Chief is the only one left.
I mean,
even Soren, I wouldn't be surprised if he's dead. Like, I truly think that.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, my knowledge on the Halo lore is spotty enough, but for the longest time, he was like the only Spartan.
Yeah.
And then we got like the Spartan 3s and 4s.
Oh, or hey, I don't think they'll do this. Would be crazy. Here's the thought: since we're doing Silver Timeline. Why not? Again, we don't know what happens here. So say Riz dies, say Kai dies, and it's just Chief. Maybe you could promote Perez, but you'd have to. You can't really do the Spartan thing to her. I guess I don't know how that works.
I don't know that Perez would ever fight again.
But what if instead of he is like, if they get a season 3? What if with season 3 the team is the team from Halo 5? But instead of hunting him, they're his team. So like Locke and all those guys.
I think the way that they're going, I don't think that that's going to be the case. I think eventually we need to actually like get onto the loose plot of the games, and we haven't even really touched the narrative for the first game yet. We're in the prequel stage at the moment.
Well, and the next 4 episodes, clearly they're going for the rings, and they're going for that, and I don't know, man. You and I like sat down to do this. We talked about it. Like, okay, we're gonna at the very least commit to season 2, and maybe if there's a season 3, but season 2 is gonna have to do things to make me want to come back for a season 3. I don't know how this is gonna end, but halfway through, I'm enjoying this a heck of a lot more than I enjoyed season 1.
I mean, I'm less hate watching it than I've hate watched other shows.
I'm actually looking forward to not just doing the show. I'm actually looking forward to actually watching the show.
For the one time that you watch it.
Yeah. I only need one.
But
I'm that good.
Yeah, like overall, I think this... I've heard it bandied about. I haven't watched other people's reviews, but I've seen the general consensus is this is the best of season 2, possibly the best that they've done so far. And yeah, hey, I mean, that's a mildly low bar to cross, but I think it rings true.
It's just, I don't understand why it took this long to get to this.
Because there were people who didn't understand the subject matter, and there were personnel changes, and.
I think that if they had done something like this in season 1, I think...
Well, if you could rewrite season 1, there'd be a lot of changes.
Yes, like we would have already had if I were doing it Fall of Reach would have been like the end of the first season.
Like it's interesting because I applaud them for the decision to not just hand wave away certain elements from season one. Like we're still dealing with Quan and we're still dealing with McKee, even though they could have just shelved that and been done with it.
They even did a fake out of saying Madrigal was lost. Like that could have just easily. Yeah, we've already mentioned that, but that's one example of getting out of. You could have got hand waved away something from season one.
They could have, but instead they decided to take the hard road, and I respect the decision, although I disagree with the rationale.
Yeah.
I think it was a bad choice, but you know what? I've heard it said in a different episode that there's a delineating line here. The less Quan that we get, the higher the quality of the show. And I think if we just continue that downward trend until she's gone, then I think we can just keep getting better.
I think it holds true because I think if you could hear my bitching from last season or last episode, yeah, I was very unhappy with Quan being around because again, for the most part, I enjoyed that episode until she showed up.
I will give a shout out here for the actors that we don't normally get to see much of or we hadn't seen much of to this point. I think Perez, the actress who plays her, did a really nice job. There was this moment where they got to Fleet Com and she was trying to help the medics evacuate, and she's standing there in a daze, just like trying to absorb everything that's happened to this point. And I think she handled the emotion very well. And I think that was a really good standout moment, a quiet moment that worked really nicely. But yeah, I think if we were to give this a letter grade, I would probably be. I'm
giving it. I would
plus B.
Okay, I'll go one higher than you. I give it an A. I really enjoyed it.
Okay. Like for a Halo episode, it's an A, but for an episode of any show, it's not there yet.
Why?
Like it's improved, but it's not there yet.
Why? Give me
shaky effects again.
Yeah.
Once again, we're caught juggling a bunch of plots, and there's a bunch of momentum killers, so it's still kind of uneven.
I see. I don't know, man. I didn't feel like there was a momentum.
Really? The woman in the shop?
Okay, that's the one I could see for sure. But
it was a nice moment, but ultimately you could write that out and you'd never know the difference.
Yeah. I just think that, honestly, again, I think a little bit of the opposite. I think they managed to handle a lot of different storylines pretty well, and I think they closed some loops. Maybe not with Vanek. Vanek kind of, but with Keyes, now there's a lot more to fight for Chief, because again, Keyes was one of the few people that he actually liked.
Sure. I'm not saying that it's not any one particular thing. It's just the culmination here compared to like a bunch of like admittedly fantastic shows that have A episodes. This doesn't keep up with it. For a Halo episode, it's an A. For an episode of just a show, it's a B.
Interesting. Also, I was looking it up because I was wondering what the team. So, the blue team is the team that Chief has in the games,
which is very interesting because blue is Cobalt and Cobalt is dead.
Yeah, and his team is silver because it's the silver time. Like, what are we doing?
Well, they just wanted to make a hard break between.
I guess, but there's Chiefs had. That's another thing too. I've noticed. I'm looking at it right. And it's just a long list of names, and a good portion of them just say killed in action.
Yeah, no, it's the body count is relatively high.
And again, you can tell that there's an effort made this season to actually try and respect and understand the material, because to me that adds to the mythos of what John was saying earlier in the episode of like, I'm going to lose teammates, but I'm not going to get lost. So, that's the one common denominator whenever he has a squad. most of them die, if not all of them die, and he still lives.
Well, if you think about this in the paradigm that, this is a first player game and Chief never actually completely dies, but everybody else starts dying. Yeah, no, that makes sense. He's basically just got unlimited lives.
He's just like, hey, man, I'm just... Oh, real fast. I want to get this in before we get out of here. I love the fact that he gave the coin to Perez and said heads after he flipped it to her.
Mm-hmm.
Nice little thing there. I like that a lot. The dialogue's better. The show's better. I give it an A. Let's go.
Give it what
everybody.
you want.
Let's go, Halo.
I don't think the dialogue
you.
is completely better because there are some cringy fucking lines.
Whoa,
they're just they're far and few, but they are there. There was that moment where they got back to FleetCom and she said, I think Perez said something effective. So that's it? You're not going to say anything? What the fuck is this moment?
Oh, well, for every Keys speech, there's I'm gonna punch you in the face, or what was it?
Okay, thanks. Yeah, she's like, so you're just gonna go back out there and fight, keep fighting? Yeah.
I'm a fucking soldier.
There's a war going on around us. What the fuck
do
you think?
I don't know if you know this, but I'm the Master Chief.
Between that and what fucking Kai said 2 episodes ago about, I can't even describe what's gonna happen to your face.
That's what I was trying to get at. That one, yeah.
Who fucking what? Who
Like
wrote that line?
For every speech, like Jacobs, there's that.
Yeah, so like I said, I think it's very good for a Halo episode. It's not series finale of Breaking Bad good.
Mm-hmm.
There's a marked difference here in the writing quality. On its surface, it's good for Halo, but...
So, yeah, we'll be back for another episode. Episode 5 is going to be called Alera. So, I don't know what that means.
Alera?
Alera. A-L-E-I... Or A-L-E-R-I-A, yes. That's what it was. Alera.
Weird. I knew Thermopylae was coming up.
Thermopylae's episode 7.
Okay.
So
and I'm sure that's their last stand.
Yeah, then maybe episode 8 is like the resolution of all that. Because, yeah, it's Alera, then Onyx for episode 6, and then Thermopylae episode 7.
Huh.
So, there you go.
Yeah, so
Exciting
lots
stuff.
to look forward to.
This is
the
it,
question
man.
is, this is our halfway point. So the question is, do they go up from here, or do we start driving across or going down? Where is the direction? Because this is the episode they were hyping up. So where do we go from here?
Yeah, and I think, rightfully so, I think this is a really good episode where I could present to people and saying, like, this is why I like this. This is why I like this show. This is why I try to stick with it. This. On the same end, I really hope they end strong with the season, and if they do get a season 3, understand that, like, get to the fucking point, man. We don't need all this filler shit. Get to the point, and you've got people's attention now. You gotta win us over. So there we go. Alera next week. And what do we say every episode, Sparks?
At the end of the game, the pawn and the king go back into the same box.
Yeah.
Off panel, off topic with Jake and Tyler.